You tell me that it's the kind of life that you deserve. Answer me and walk away. You are a crazy man. You are a crazy man. You are a crazy man. Crazy man don't feel so low.
How's it, guys? So I'm just making sure everything was all sorted out, that I'm not dropping any packets, or got a good stable connection and waiting for people to join. Must say it's nice being back in Durban. It's Ijoy already. Justin, how's it? Rob, how's it? Mohammed, how's it? Ivan, how's it? Pop it, lock it. How's it, real? Oh. Otherwise, how's everybody? Is the sound okay? Is the video okay before I start? Hello, Mrs. M. Hello, Donnie. Chris. Gonna wait, so I'm gonna do the whole blurb again before we start, so I'm just gonna wait for some more people to join. A bit of distortion, yeah, that could be because there's music playing in the background. Oh, I was like, Cape Town was lekker. I must say I had fun, but there's no place like home. It was a bloody cold there already. It was cold. Beans of coolness. Mr. Weldon, how are you? Brandon, hello. Did you guys enjoy seeing, those who did watch when we were down in Cape Town, did you enjoy seeing The Hobbit online? How's it, Raymond? Our trip was lovely. It was really, really, really nice. Nice to get away and have a bit of a break and not have to worry about the shop. Went to visit some vape shops. Just waiting until 8:30 so I can go through the blurb, hoping the numbers are going to get up. Always a cricket to spoil a moment. What was your suggestion, Mohammed? No, there's no fan going on. The temperature has dropped in Durban. There's no fan going. I've got no noise besides you might every now and again hear my dogs sit outside that door. So yeah, you might hear my dogs scratching or having a yelp at each other. Oh, Rian's coils. I need to change the wick. But freaking. The man is a machine. The bonus is he actually made me 2 sets. I'll show you my other set here quickly. Got them in a nice little wooden box. Now that little zoom in, that's just one of them. Don't know. Rob, you need to tell me what camera you use, because this fucking camera's driving me up the wall. Almost 8:30. Yeah, I took some nice photos, I have to say. I'm loving this bloody new, I got a new phone, I got the iPhone 7 Plus, which shut up. That's what I keep on saying to my phone, shut up, because it doesn't ring off the hook. It keeps on ringing off the hook. Yeah. Yeah, I know, I didn't know what comment you were mentioning. Yeah, Hugo didn't want to act like a ventriloquist dummy. Yeah, I did try. Okay, it's 8:30. If those out there miss it, then they must go and watch the video. I'm just going to run through the whole Gurutje again, about how the competition works, etc. So, as promised, for those the no fat fizz, it's part of the Because Bubbles Matter range. Okay, so we've got a Because Bubbles Matter cap to give away, plus a 3 milligram bottle of apple and a 3 milligram bottle of cherry, 60 ml bottles of fat fizz. I don't have them here with me, I forgot to bring them. We've also got a pair of beard socks, so for those that like my hat, I've got some socks to go with it. And then from Watofo, we've got a lovely shirt from Watofo. Although it says double XL, I promise you it's a large. These are little ching-chongs. They are very, very, very small. So it's a large. So that's what we're giving away tonight, prize-wise. What we've decided to do is the last show of every month, we will do a nice, really big one. But that's there's the 2 bottles of cherry fizz and apple fizz. There's the Because Bubbles Matter cap. There's the beard socks and the Watofo shirt that we're giving away tonight. Okay, how the competition works is that once the video is finished, okay, unfortunately the chat that is happening on a chat, you can see there now as a live chat, it doesn't get saved. So anybody who comments in the comment section below the video, once the video is, we finish the video, is eligible to win. Okay, you can just say how's it, you don't have to mention anything. I'd like you to share this channel if possible, because as we've said, our suppliers are willing to give us products free of charge for us to review on our channel, based on the amount of subscribers we get. So the more subscribers we get, the more stuff we'll get to review, and stuff that maybe hasn't even hit anywhere else in the world, and we will give everything away that we get. We will not keep a single solitary thing. So if we get a mod, we will give the mod away. If we get a tank, we will give the tank away. So please share this on your personal Facebook pages, Twitter, wherever. It's not about us, it's about you. We want to be able to review stuff for you, and we want to be able to make somebody a happy person at the end of the show. So please share it on social media, and how it will work is that anybody who comments down below, as soon as we hit tonight, I want 80 likes for me, and then I will give the prize away to whoever's commented in the comment section below, not the live chat. The live chat's not saved, so you have to comment below once the video is the live feed is finished, and anybody who's in that is eligible for it. And I want to hit 80 likes. I will only give the prize away once we hit 80 likes. Last week it was 75, this week it's 80. So yeah, if you know if you've heard all that, cool beans, we'll get going with it. I just want to check any questions there quickly and say how's it to people who've joined. Let's see, anybody new that's joined. How's it, Etienne? Beard socks, yeah. I see the guy, Raymond's there. How's it, Chris? Mohammed, how's it? Okay, JP, how's it? Okay, so you want me to run through the prize again, I can do that. I'll do that at a later stage, but please don't forget to comment below and like. If I don't get 80 likes, I don't give it away. As soon as I get 80 likes, I'll give it away, even if it's in 3-4 days time. So what we're getting to first, okay. Obviously you saw, those who were on from the beginning saw the intro, Kylin versus the Ammit. This is going to be a highly contested one. I have had time to play with both. I'm going to be setting up my Kylin because there are people that are having problems with leaking issues. To date, on my Kylin, which comes up the same batch as everybody else's, I get a bit of condensation build up in the bottom of my tank, but I have not yet had any leaking. And I'm not saying that I'm a wicking guru, but I'm going to show you the way I wick it, and hopefully that'll help the people that are having leaking issues. We have directed people to other places where you can go and also to see how they've wicked it, but I'm going to try and help you here. Unfortunately, obviously being in Cape Town, I have not had time to get a lighting system for the down low camera, but I will nevertheless try to do it and trying to show you exactly how I do it. And so I'm going to go down low now first, before we actually talk about the pros and cons of the Kylin versus the Ammit, and show you how to wick it. I will stop halfway through and answer any questions, but we'll go from there. Okay. No, the answer is 80 this week. We need to get 80. I'm not asking for miracles. 80 likes. Okay, so I'm going to go down low. Okay, so the camera without the lighting doesn't focus properly, but you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so for those, Kylin has 2 entry points for liquid. Okay, on both sides. Obviously it covers up the screws that you are tightening your coils on. My coils I've got in here are just straight. I've got 3.5mm 9 wrap 24 gauge nichrome in here. Okay, so you'll see there, from hold it like that, I'm just going to use my tweezers. You've got a wicking channel here and you've got a wicking channel there. Okay, underneath your coils are your 2 airflows. If I'm just going to say this, please don't take offense, I'm not saying that anybody doesn't vape correctly, but all I'm saying is Donnie, I tried a flashlight, it didn't work, it threw too much light. I've got to get a special type of light for it, sorry, but I did try that. Okay, the large thing that of causing of leaking, especially tanks that could produce a fair amount of vapor. If you can imagine, so please don't, I'm not being derogatory, or I'm not saying that people are stupid or anything like that, but I'm just trying to explain the concept of why things may leak. Okay, is that if you can picture, this is a kettle at the end of the day. Okay, now a kettle creates steam. Steam that is not inhaled remains in the chamber and condenses back into a liquid. The liquid that it condenses into is thinner than the liquid that it's being sucked up. Okay, so what happens is that with the chimney positioned directly over the coils there, okay, if there's liquid or a condenser in the chimney which lies directly above that, what it's going to do is going to drip down, hit between the 2 coils and go down in your airflow. That can cause leaking. Recommendation is, while you're inhaling, let go your button, so you inhale the bulk of the vapor that is created. I've tried that with many people who've just started vaping, especially with the vertical type of coils, because they had problems with excess liquid in their reservoir, and no one's ever said it hasn't worked. So I'm just giving you that as an example. Okay, so there's your 2 coils. I use cotton bacon and cotton bacon only. Okay, the hard part to teach is how much cotton. Okay, obviously I've got very fat chubby fingers. Okay, so what I'm going to pull off on a piece of cotton is going to be different to what anybody else does. Okay, but that is the cotton that I pulled off. Okay, which I will use for this wicking. Okay, you must remember the major thing with wicking, okay, is if you don't have enough wick, it's going to leak. If you have too much wicking, it's going to cause you a dry hit. Okay. But also another thing is that if you compact your cotton too much, okay, it will also cause leaking, okay, because there's now more gaps for the liquid to flow through. You want as fluffy a cotton as possible, okay. So what I do is I just skewer on the one side, so I've got a tuck point, and I pull my cotton through until I can feel just a little bit of resistance. So if I pull this backwards and forwards, I can just feel a little bit of resistance on the coil. I then trim it off, and I repeat again with the other coil. I'm just going to pull that through. So now you can see I've got 2 pieces of cotton going through. Okay, there. Okay, sorry, I'm just going to line it up. Okay, what I do now, okay, is I bend my cotton down. If you can see this line here, there. That's the bottom of the intake for juice. I bend my cotton down, grab my scissors, and I cut the cotton at the bottom of that line, right across. So now if I push that down, you can see it's right at if I push that down, you can see it's right at the bottom of the juice flow. And I do the same on the other side. Please remember these are 3.5 millimeter coils. If you use 4 millimeter coils, you're obviously going to have more cotton, okay, that you pull through because of the resistance that you're pulling it through. Now on 3.5 millimeter coils on the Kylin, okay, if anybody's watched any of my other videos, I do what they call a bow tie method, where I actually make 2 little bow ties out of the cotton, okay. What I do here is I cut off probably about 1/5 of the cotton. So I just trim about 1/5 of the bow tie off. Okay, so now my bow tie has been destroyed. Okay. Remember to also to make sure that you are not compacting your cotton. So when you've cut it, take your tweezers and just give it a little bit of a fluff, because when you cut, it's actually also compacting the cotton. So I'm just gonna fluff it up a bit there. Okay. Let me just check the questions there quickly. Mohammed, yes, it is also single coil compatible. Okay, I've got a funny feeling with a single coil in here, no one would have a leaking issue, because I've got this sneaky feeling is that the condensation that's coming down is dripping right in between these 2 coils and it's dropping down the airflow. But saying that, you know, this is the way I wick. I've never had a dry hit, and I've never ever had any leaking. I've had a bit of condensation build up, but no leaking per se. What the guys are complaining about. No, I'm not explaining Ohm's law. That you can look up. It'll take me too long to explain that. Yeah, people make the mistake of condensing their cotton. Your cotton must be as fluffy as possible. And people prod and poke and they cut, but they don't make sure that your ends are nice and fluffy. Fluffy cotton is the most important thing. And as soon as you've got condensed cotton, you will leak, because it's now causing a gap in the cotton where juice can flow. Yeah, and compacted cotton doesn't soak lacquer either, yeah. Okay, so now what I do is I grab my little sharp tweezers and I grab one of the little tufts, just gently on the end, and I push it into the inside of the hole. Like that. I can do the same with the other one. Okay. Turn it around, do exactly same on the other side, trying not to compact my cotton at all. Okay, so now that's in. The thing with the Kylin though, okay, and this also might be causing a problem, okay, of leaking, okay, is that the head, or the top part of the tank that goes on, is such a tight fit that if any of your cotton, if you look at an angle here, if any of your cotton, see over there, is sticking out in any side, what happens is when you screw this on, it actually grabs that cotton and pulls the cotton or pulls the cotton, so you're tightening it clockwise, pulls that cotton over, you will never even see that cotton's been moved. But it pulls that cotton over to the side, which now opens up a whole chamber, which is going to cause leaking. You have to make sure, and the easiest way to do it, okay, I'm going to show you now, okay, on the top part here, just make sure that there's nothing sticking out, but don't compact it too much. Okay, how to make sure that the bottom part doesn't stick out is I'm going to show you now. So I'm just going to wick it up. What I'm using for this wicking, I'm just going to pop cameras again. I'm using, well, I've done it before, but I'm using Frosties, okay. For this, I'm just going to wick it up quickly. Okay, my Frosties is really well steeped. Okay, so I put Frosties on there now. Okay, now if you look there, if I look from the side, can you see how all of a sudden that cotton is swelled? Because now it's got juice in it. That cotton is now swelled out of the juice flow hole. So now what you do is just gently with your long nose tweezers, just gently push that cotton back in. Trying not to compact it too much. You must not have any piece of cotton sticking out whatsoever. If you have any piece sticking out there, when you twist that on, and if you can see in the video there, you see that little line that's there, that's the juice flow. It sits so tight on the tank that as soon as you turn that, it grabs the cotton on this one side and just pushes all the cotton out of the way, and then your tank's going to leak. No questions asked. So I'm just compacting, or not compacting, I'm just trying to stop any pieces sticking out. Okay, so now I screw that on, but when you push it down, you will feel straight away if it's catching somewhere. So you've got to have gentle fingers when you push it down. So I can push it down there and I can feel now that nothing is catching. Now I only tighten it. Tightened it now. I'm just going to close the juice flow holes so I can fill the rest of the tank up. Just 2 seconds. Okay, top cap on. If that's, then we're going to go up top quickly. Okay, now come back up there. Obviously now I'm just going to open my juice flow control. I've got a sneaky feeling that it's either one of those two things that is causing the leaking. I'll open tighten it slightly, just 2 seconds. There we go. I could tighten it slightly. There, got nice big juice, nice big bubbles coming up, which means it's now absorbing cotton. I've got a sneaky feeling that those little sides, like I showed you, those little sides where the juice comes in, because that deck sits so tightly and snuggly and it's so well made, that if you've got a millimeter, less than a millimeter of cotton sticking out there, it's going to grab that cotton and it's going to just pull all of that wicking over to one side. Now as soon as it pulls all of that wicking over to one side, what can happen now? It's a free flow for juice. Gravity is going to take over. Can't get away from that. So I've got a funny feeling that's why it's leaking, guys. You have to make sure that there is no cotton sticking out of there. That's the best I can do from a wicking, but I wick most of my tanks with that amount of finesse to make sure that there's no it's not compacted, there's no pieces sticking that could be grabbed by another part going over it. You have to be really pernickety and finicky about that. So I'm hoping that helped, guys. Try it out. If it doesn't, get hold of me, send me videos, send me pictures, whatever. Let me see if I can help you. Just based on the on the other videos that I've seen regarding the wicking, they pretty much do it the same as me. So guys are using different cottons though, but yeah, just try that out. Hope that helped. Let me just have a vape quickly. Oh. For those who don't, let me just hope it's the right one. No, that's what I'm vaping on tonight. I've got this, okay, this is a new bottle, but I've got my long steep bottle. I'm vaping on Frosties tonight. I've got Frosties both in the Kylin and the Ammit. Okay, so it's the exact same coil in both. I've got one on a V-God and I've got one on a Minikin. I have turned the wattage down slightly on the Minikin because the Minikin, in my opinion, actually hits about 10 watts harder than any other device. So that's the reason one's on 45 watts and one's on 55 watts. And the ohmage is exactly 0.31 on each. Okay, same ID, same cotton, same wicking method. That's the way I've got it set up today. Okay, so let me just check some questions quickly. Not a problem, but it's the fog flog. Flashbacks of an old topic explaining maths. Yeah, well, sometimes we have to draw pictures. That helps everybody. Everybody's visual, so yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. Johnny, I don't think it's a design flaw. You know, we have emailed to ask if there has been other people that have complained. We have emailed Vandy Vapes. We haven't had anything back from them. You know, survey is survey. Well, if there's a problem, we will sort it out. That's our motto. We will sort it out. But you know, the Kylins that we have received have all come from this. Everybody's received from the same batch. So I would make the assumption that they all came off the production line at the same time. Yeah. Mine, I get condensation, but I don't get leaking. What do you want to see some clouds on? Which device? I cannot do tricks, guys. The biggest trick that I can do is blow a square, and that's no trick at all. I've got 24 gauge nichrome. 9 wraps, 3.5mm ID in both. Yeah. The orange one, my baby. I was lucky enough to get some coils from the master, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on. I need to have a sip of cold now. Okay, so what we here for? Ammit Dual versus the Kylin. Okay. Looks wise, they look very similar. Okay, obviously I've got a black one and a stainless steel one. Okay, but I'm gonna work it from the base upwards. Both same size air intake. The only difference is that on the Ammit, it's total see-through airflow. You can see straight through airflow. Where in the Kylin, there's actually 2 separate chambers. Okay. In the on the deck, the Kylin has a single long airflow on the side and bottom airflow. The Ammit has got a 3-hole airflow on the side and 2 holes at the bottom, similar to the Kylin. However, the actual physical deck is slightly different. On the Ammit, it's got a deck that's positioned at an angle, where the Kylin is flat. Okay, so I'll talk about putting coils in now. Okay, the reason why I like the Kylin better than I like the Ammit is that if you want to put a single coil in and you want to get your coil off high enough off the deck to get good airflow around it, you're limited on the Ammit. You're not limited on the Kylin, because on the Ammit it sits like this. Okay, so your coil sits just above it, where on the Kylin, because it's flat, it sits way high above it. Okay, so immediately that's a point for the Kylin, in my opinion. Also, if you're using dual coils, I prefer the Kylin deck purely because you can lift your coils higher off your airflow. And if you've watched any of my other live reviews, you have to get air moving around your coils. If you are restricting the amount of air that can flow around your coils, you're losing out in flavor. Okay, so that's the deck. I prefer the Kylin deck over the Ammit deck. Okay, I prefer the Kylin airflow over the Ammit airflow, because the Ammit airflow is noisier. If you listen here, the Hammett airflow is noisier than the Kylin. So that, for me, I don't like things that make a lot of noise and whistling and stuff like that. So that's a pro for the Kylin for me. Okay. Then we get to the actual physical chamber, okay, where the juices hold. On the Kylin, you've got 2 options: a 2 mil option, chubby, okay, or a 6 mil. 6 mil, you have an extension rod that you screw onto, or extension chimney that you screw on, and then you put the bigger glass on. The Kylin has a 3 mil capacity and a 6 mil capacity. So immediately there, if you're wanting to run it around in chubby mode, in my opinion, the Hammett is better. Okay, where the Kylin is on 2 mil, so you're going to fill it up a lot more. The Hammett has got 3 mils, so it's going to take a lot longer to fill it up. Then we get to the chimneys. Okay, the chimneys are the little extra parts that you have to screw on to either device. Okay, if you on the Kylin, if you don't screw that chimney down tight enough, okay, when you are opening the top cap to fill, sometimes you can unscrew it. That's a downfall for me. On the Hammett, okay, the top part of the chimney is held down by another piece of a top cap, which actually screws and holds everything together. Where the Kylin has just got the glass surround, which when you screw the cap on, fastens everything together. So immediately that's a plus for the Hammett. Okay, it feels more secure with that top cap that screws on. Ooh, I almost closed my airflow. That wouldn't be too good. Sorry, my juice flow. So that's a plus on the Hammett. Okay. So we've got 2 pros for the Kylin, being where how your coils are positioned and the airflow. And for the Kylin, you've got capacity in stubby version, and that the tank feels more secure with that little top cap before you screw your like a supporting cap before you screw your top cap on. Okay, they both can take goon style drip tips. Okay, I don't have a goon on this, but they both can take goon style drip tips. Can't throw it off, it's a bit tight, which is a bonus for me. So you can change your, if you want like a hands type drip tip, so that's a plus for both of them. Okay, the only thing then comes down to is, in my opinion, which is better for flavor, and I have to say it's the Kylin. for me. And these are the same juice, the same coils, the same wattage setup. I personally feel that the Kylin has got slightly better flavor than the Ammit. Okay, and it's slight, you know. You've got to look at the other cons, you know. And I think that the flavor is purely because of the way that deck is positioned. I'm not able to get as much air around the coils on the Ammit as I am able to get around on the Kylin because of the flat deck versus the peak deck. So in my opinion, okay, take away the problems where people might have with leaking, the Kylin would come out winner, and it'll only come out winner on flavor, nothing else. They're both really, really, really good tanks. If you're not worried about juice capacity or whatever like that, you couldn't draw a line in the sand between them. The flavor is marginally better on this, okay, than the Ammit. Both good bars, both really well made. They're really, really well made. Decks are nice to work with. I would say the only other con that I would have, and this is a personal con that I would have with the Ammit, is I don't like flathead screws. And how you tighten your deck down is flathead screws. I don't like that. I like Phillips style or Allen key grub nuts. I don't like flats. That's just me, but you know, other people are different. So in the Ammit versus the Kylin challenge, in my opinion, the Kylin comes at number one, and it's ever so slightly number one, and that's purely because it comes down to flavor. If you bought either of these, you would be happy. As a fastidious and person chasing flavor, I would buy the Kylin. If I'd lost it, like old Rip Tripper says, if I'd lost it today, would I go and buy it tomorrow? I would buy this before I bought this. And that's me, just purely because of flavor. And remember, these are my opinions. Somebody might have a different opinion. I'm just looking down at the pros and cons of each, and it was left with flavor. So that's the reason why I chose it, because I think the flavor in here is better. Let me go some questions. I'm gonna, On my Kylin, I've got a Goon drip tip made by hands. We do have some of them left in stock. No, it's made out of an acrylic. Session, yes, you can fit it on a Kylin, the Kylin on an AL85, but you'd be limited if you're wanting to run really big coils. You'd be limited with power, but it will fit on there. Mohammed, no, you can't swap the chimneys between the two, because if it was a 2mm, 6mm option on both, you might be able to do it, but the glass for the 3mm on the Ammit is slightly longer than the glass for the 2mm on here. So no, you wouldn't be able to swap it, unfortunately. I'll try it when they're both empty, but unfortunately I don't think that you'll be able to swap it around. Yeah, Graham, it's just down to flavor, but seriously, it's just down to flavor. The Ammit one also gave really good, the single coil gave really good flavor, okay, and that's an amazing tank as well. Mine just purely came down to flavor. But either, you know, if you aren't as picky and as fastidious as me when it comes to tasting of juices and stuff like that, you must remember I'm a juice maker, so I know exactly what a juice is supposed to taste like when I'm making it. Okay, and in this, you know, Frosties in this tastes absolutely awesome. Okay, yeah. the Ammit is definitely worth a buy, you know what I mean? But to have two of the same tanks, yeah, if you're a collector, must have. If you're not a collector, either or will do you, you know. Either or will do you. Okay, and it's really, I've got to break down the pros and the cons like I have, and the pros and cons are there's two pros for, two pros against, one tie, and I think that the flavour is better than the Kylin. So it's my opinion at the end of the day. At Donny, it's when you say don't be one of those reviewers, Kylin or Ammit. Okay, I would buy the Kylin if it was me. Okay, but you've got to build it. You've got to wick it. You might think that the Ammit's better. Okay, I'm just giving you my opinions. Okay, I'm reviewing something because they have two. The only reason I'm putting them head to head is because the guys who made the Ammit, okay, used to work with the same guys who made the Kylin. These are Vandyvape guys. These guys used to work at the same place, and they've made so subtle the changes that they if you had to blindly test them, you would think they're exactly the same. That's the honest answer. So either or, if you bought any one of them, you're going to be happy. My personal opinion is that the Kylin gives you better flavour. That's as much as I can review it. T-Vapes, I haven't had spit back from either of them. If you could spit back, you build like a chop. Yeah, no. No, I've never had any spit back from them. Sorry. Yeah, Donnie, without a shadow of that, Kylin single versus Kylin dual. Yeah, if you had to put that head to head, the Kylin single wouldn't even come close. The single coil on the Kylin doesn't give you the same amount of flavour as the dual coil, in my opinion. And I have tried. I've had an alien in here, a big alien in here, and it was although the flavour was nice, dual coil is definitely way better than having it as a single coil. What's the crackling noises? Crackling noises on a tank is quite a common thing. Okay, is that if you're running your tank at really lowish wattages, the liquid boils instead of being vaporized. So you get this, and then all of a sudden, okay, you get this, and it now decides it wants to turn into a vapor, and you get that crackling sound. That's quite common. Let me just. None of those. You can hear the crackling there. That's because there's a build-up of moisture. That's it. Mohammed, it doesn't take pre-made coils. You have to build your own coils, and so obviously you can build a 1 ohm coil if you want in there, but it's designed for sub-ohm vaping. A good sub 600 Rand RDA. No questions asked, the Icon. I've used it on my. It has got a bottom fed function. It's got probably the best flavor. Yeah, probably the best flavor RDA I've ever had. Yeah, absolutely amazing. The prices, I'll get you now. that for you now. The Hammett is 580 Rand, and the where are you? And the Kylin is 575. There's 5 Rand difference between the two. Yeah, that's negligible in the bigger picture. Jeff, what coils have we got in there, but Icon versus Peerless, hands down the Icon, no questions asked, the Icon, and that's for flavor. Vapor production is a different story. The Icon doesn't give you massive amounts of vapor, where the Peerless would give you more vapor, but the flavor is better on the Icon. Yeah, doubtfully, Donnie. The flavor on this, yeah, you know, those people who've been watching the other ones, not my Omni was my number one. This gives you dripper flavor. The Kylin, if properly set up, will give you almost the same as dripper flavor. It's just an amazing tank. RTA, the Kylin, RDTA for flavor would probably be the Serpent 22 from a flavor perspective. That or the Merlin. Oh yes, Graham, without a shadow of a doubt. Icon is absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. On my Icon, because I've got it on a squonker, I don't have a massive ball in here. I've got a 10 wrap, 24 gauge, 3mm ID dual coil on my Icon at the moment, and I've got it on my Theron 75 watt DNA squonker. Yeah, every now and again there might be a little bit of lag. Just hold on. I'm just trying to fix the lag, just give me 2 seconds. Yeah, every now and again there might be a little bit of lag. I am in a household with 2 teenagers that do use YouTube. So yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, the lag will level out now. Mohammed, Predator can pretty much run any RDA that you've got available. Yeah, anyone. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why it's South African internet for you, but it should come right now. I have sent a message to my kids to get off YouTube if they are on YouTube, but yeah, it should level out now. Yeah, all the torrents are firing up now. Yeah. Sorry about the lag. I can't control Telcom. I can't control those things. It should come out. Yeah, Ahmed, the best RTA would be the Kylin, and the best RDTA will be the either the Serpent 22. Oh, sorry, I also forgot the Ijoy 5. Ijoy 5 is really good. Yeah. Brandon, Icon versus Drugger. Icon for flavor, Drugger for clouds. Yeah. Okay. It looks like it's stabilizing now. Anybody else having lag issues? I apologize about that, but I can't control. Yeah, it seems to be sorting itself out now. No Windows updates. Let me just drop the resolution a bit and maybe that might help. Let's just see. I'm hoping that fixes it. I've dropped the resolution slightly. I'm hoping that's gonna sort things out. Yeah. What's the best watts to vape on? Demon Killer 0.35. It's vaping is such a subjective thing. You know, what I say is not necessarily the right thing to vape at. You know, 30.35 probably going to be vaping at about 55 watts. That's on Demon Killer wire. 55 watts, 60 watts, round about there. You know, but that's totally up to you. Okay. Yeah, it's totally up to you what you vape at on that wire. Okay. So let's talk about some other things. Anybody got any more questions on the Kylin or the Ammit? Peter, we did have the Battle Star, and Hugo is looking at the Sharon. Whether or not he's going to get them or not, I can't guarantee you. He's probably the best person to ask for that. You know, but he's always looking for new things. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So obviously we were in Cape Town. Got to meet some of the vape shop owners there. Obviously we know we pretty much know them already, but we went into look at Vape Empire. We went into Vape Cartel, and we went into Juicy Joe's. You know, obviously with our families there, we're a bit limited with time. And what I can say, and without any negativity, it's jumping again. I'll put it up again. Now it went down. I'm changing it back down. Leave it like that, Craig. Leave it. Durbanites are spoiled. It was our comeback from Cape Town, and there's no offense to the other vendors there. You've got to be very thankful to the Hobbit, because Durbanites, you guys are spoiled for choice. The variety of stock, in my opinion, was slightly limited in Cape Town. A very big selection of juices, I have to say. E-juice, Cape Town's the place to go if you want to get all the different brands of e-juice. But mods and gear and stuff like that, Durban, bro, Durban by the sea, the place to get mods. Yeah, but we had a fun time. We went to watch a show, and went to watch the Lumineers. We were a little bit concerned because it was raining that day. So yeah, but we got to watch the show. The show was absolutely fantastic. It was so nice to watch them in person. Yeah, it was lekker. So those who we did meet in Cape Town, if anybody's watching, thanks for coming to say how's it. We did meet quite a few people. Thanks for coming to say how's it. But while I was there, I had wrong one. I had Rian make me some coils because you know, he makes such lovely coils, and I wanted to get some coils for my distortion pedal mod and my Elite, and he made me a set of, I'm not even going to try and explain what these coils are. If he's watching, he'll put a word out, but all I can say is this thing, yeah, it hops like a puppy. Absolutely amazing vapor off this. And the nice thing that he did was he made a nice big fat 4mm coil for Hugo for his Hadley. And I was like, no, Hadley's, you know, small little dripper and wada, until I put that coil in and I had a hit on Hugo's Hadley, and I'm a little bit miffed that I don't have a Hadley. You know, I never took one out of meat because I personally didn't enjoy the Hadley. But your 4mm coil on that Hadley was absolutely mind-blowing. So much so that I think I'm going to get him to make some for the shop. but you can see how his coils come. Not all come like this. These are special builds, come like this. He made me another spare set for my big baby, and he made some coils for Hugo for his Hadley. So thank you, Rion. Coil company, yep, my opinion at the moment, the best coils in South Africa, worth every single solitary cent that you'll pay for them. That's the one thing. Obviously we also got to meet some of the juice makers. We had a little bit of a braai in the evening on the Saturday night. Got the who's who of Cape Town. Complex Chaos was there, Duncan was there, Emissary Liquids was there, we had Justin from Nostalgia was there. I'm trying to think who else was there. We had Mr. Battery Man himself there. We had even had a Twist representative there, Heinrich Werter, who's an avid vapor who currently works with Twist. So we had a lekker bra social. It was nice to catch up with him, taste the new juices that's coming out with these guys. Good juices, good times. Very, very nice. Imran, just I must actually think, is there a poster stick for it? No, I don't think there is. No, you're thinking about the what was the name of that thing? The Classic had a poster stick. Right vapes, you'll only get it in 60ml bottles. We will be bringing more 120ml bottles, but the 120ml bottles of right vapes that we did bring in are already sold, unfortunately. T-vapes is not that you can't use Twist flavor. It all depends on what tank you've got. You know, unfortunately, the newer sub-ohm tanks, they use minimal cotton in there, and unfortunately with the Twist flavor, they are high in propylene glycol content, so they will cause leaking. Not only that, with a sub-ohm vaping, you will get a bad throated, and also they only have, stand to be corrected, but they only have 3 strengths, 0, 9 and 18. So yeah, if you can hit, how's it, Marky boy? If you can vape 9 milligram on a sub-ohm tank, you've got hair in your chest, but have you ever shaken a pure range? It's not Max VG, I can tell you that right now. No offense to them, it's not Max VG. Max VG is like glue, or it's like, this is an 80-20, and you can see the viscosity of an 80-20 bottle. Go do the same to a twist juice. I can guarantee you that bubble moves a lot faster. That's the way to test if it's a high VG juice. Is just take it like this and turn it. If that bubble takes a long time to move, that's a high VG juice. A lot of people advertise high VG juices, but then they water it down. Okay, that's not high VG. So I'm just checking messages here. Okay, I made you all go away. No, it's not that they're lying to you. It's just, yeah, well, I suppose they are. If it's, yeah, Max VG is 100% VG. Those juice makers like Mark are in here. Mark from Hazeworks. Where are you, Mark from Hazeworks? Mark Kramer from Hazeworks. He'll tell you. The cost of vegetable glycerine based concentrates is very expensive. The reason for it is that vegetable glycerine does not carry flavor as well as propylene glycol. To come across VG concentrates, you can get them, but they're just hell of expensive. Hell of expensive. We've only got one Max VG, which is 100% VG juice in our shop. and that is Coconut Thai from Ripe Vapes. That's 100% VG. Okay, that's the only one we have. Okay. Oh, so that's that coil company. Then we had a nice little toy I rock up in the shop. Break them. I was like, yeah, not too keen, all-in-one LiPo battery, but boy, was I surprised. This is the little puppy. I don't know what's it got in there. It's goes up to 100 watts. Can fire down to 0.05. USB charging. 6 milliliter tank. And I stand to be corrected. I think it's a 2000. Sorry, 2,500 milliamp hour LiPo battery in there. Comes with a stock coil. It's an RDTA setup. So inside there, you've got your coils, and then your coils drop down into a little reservoir that sits underneath here, and you fill it up through this button here. I was like, iffy. My God, was I shocked. How's the vapor production on this puppy? Vapes like an absolute dream. Nice clicky big button. Nice. Oh, what did I do now? Oh, Jesus. Nice big display, up and down buttons, USB charging obviously with the LiPo battery, goes up to 100 watts, really easy to wick it, good airflow on this little RDTA, comes on. Evidently you can screw another tank on here if you wanted to. I haven't tried it. It is compatible with any other tank, so you just, the way the deck is positioned, you just screw your tank onto the pin. You don't need to obviously empty your juice out, so you can put a different tank on this. But you're really pleasantly surprised with this. I was like, yeah, gimmicky, but no, definitely something to, from a collector's perspective, nice, handy, nice, small, cute dripper flavor, obviously because it's an RDTA. Probably the only downfall is if you're putting some larger coils in there, there is a bit of heat transfer. But I've got my standard build in here, 0.3 ohm build in here. And it's got clouds for days and really good flavor. Yeah, so that's the Ijoy RDTA box. Last thing was I think it's a 6 or 7 mil tank, so it can hold a fair amount of juice. Charges very quickly. It was flat when I got it. Took probably about an hour. Just over an hour to full. Yeah, so something really to look out for if you're in the market for an all-in-one type of device. Also, the thing is, it's really small. Really good flavor, as I said again. Easy to fill, easy to wick, and you can put an aftermarket tank on it. Evidently, I haven't tried it just yet. Mohammed, we don't. Let me just check questions there. How's it, Dinesh? Yeah, max VG does last slightly longer in your tank, but it won't work on every coil. Would it last longer? Yeah, maybe not so much. It would last longer. VG gives you more clouds, so yeah, it might not. I've never actually tried to just vape pure VG. We don't recommend that you charge any mod in a car. If you've got a dedicated USB port, yes. If you've got a port on your radio, yes, but not through a cigarette lighter. We've just had, unfortunately, too many incidents with cigarette lighters, with the voltage variance through the cigarette lighter. Unless you've got one of those really high-end plug-in chargers, the ones that are costing you a couple of $100, 500, 600, 700 rand. then I would say maybe, but we don't recommend that you charge anything in a car, not even a cell phone in a car. Imran, good setup for that. 24 gauge nichrome, dual coil, parallel build, 4mm ID, 7 wraps each side. So you're going to get 7, 14, you're going to get 28 wraps in total. Yeah, so dual parallel, 4mm ID, 24 gauge, 7 wraps on each side. Yeah, Strawberry Guys 80/20. We've got the Because Bubbles Matter range. The bubble gums are 80/20, and I think the Fat Fizz is 70. Yeah, Fat Fizz is 75/25. Oh, nice. We also got these in. The Steampunk Tesla 120s, quite a heavy mod. It's not light. It's quite a heavy mod. On-off switch. Really good battery life, I have to say. I've got my Omni running on it at the moment. Tank sits nice and flush on there, 25mm. Really cool layout with all the cogs and everything. Feels quality when you buy it. I'm really impressed with the battery life on it, because these I've been vaping on this for part of the day. Obviously I use multiple devices, but I've only dropped probably a fifth of the power since this morning, and at 40 watts. So I'm quite impressed with the battery life. Imran, we do keep pre-built coils. We don't keep any parallel type coils, but we have got a range of cheaper base coils, Chinese base coils, and we do keep a range, obviously the coil company, which are your high-end upper market coils, handmade coils, not mass-produced coils. Yeah, we do have both. When is Sir Vape RTA coming out? Look, we have had a mechanical mod commissioned for us. It's been available. Whether we ever build an RTA, that's something to think about. The design aspect is obviously is quite hard. You also want to come out with something that's different. Who knows? Maybe in the future. Mrs. M. How do you know? You might win today again, How's it run? Yeah, Mark, I think that's honestly where the guys are going wrong, is that deck is so well made, and where that on the Kylin, where the top cap fits over that, if it catches a little bit of that cotton, it's going to pull all that cotton out the way, and it's just going to leak like a mofo, in my opinion. I can give you my opinions. At the end of the day, you can use them, don't use them. Sorry, my dog's scratching. That's up to you. You know what I mean? But yeah. Yeah, Donnie, I've got a couple of drawings for RDAs. It's a hell of expensive to make a mod and to have something made. It's really, really expensive. Just the cost factor of making a mechanical mod it's not cheap. Not cheap. Yeah, we've got some interesting things coming. I won't allude to what they are, but we've got some really interesting things coming. We've got some new international juices that are going to be on their way to us in the not too distant future. We've got some new mods, like what arrived today was the Lost Vape Drones Quonka, which is a dual battery, unlike these single batteries. Oh yes, there was a lot of guys asking about the little cleaning brushes, the stainless steel cleaning brushes for their coils. We did get them back in stock, guys, so they are there. We got some different color smock aliens in. We got a rainbow one, we got a red and black one. Hugo has put an amazing kit together. I'll put a link to it. This is never to be seen again. I'll put a link to it here. He's been able to work his magic on a smock alien with a TFV12 combo. So for those who want to chuck some clouds, who don't want to build coils, yeah, that's a good buy. That, you know, for an alien and a TFV12. So yeah, if you're interested in that type of stuff, you need to get looking at that. Yeah, Bernard, there are a couple left. You know, we only ever had 100 made. They are serial numbered. I think we've got like maybe 7 or 8 left. You know, hits like an absolute mule. Two of the top cloud chasers in cloud chaser and cloud trickers in South Africa use them. You know, so they're good devices. Also the bonus is that there'll only ever be 100 of them. You're never going to have them made again. Yeah. Okay. T-vapes, you know, Loaded is stocked by so many vape shops in South Africa. Nasty Juice is stocked by so many vape shops in South Africa. We not so many vape shops. We try to be different. We try to bring in things that no one else has got. That's why, we won't load those juices. But yeah, sorry about that. Peter, I'm sure Hugo's making some more of them. You know, it's one of our brands. Unfortunately, my maid got a hold of this and it came off, but it's the HHA. It's one of our brands, La Familia, which is the Hard Hitters Alliance. I'm sure Hugo can have some more made. Oh, it's serious, Ron. Don't vape and climb up ladders, dude. Mohammed, no, we don't stock spinners. It's a fad. We're a vape shop. We're not a gadget house. We're a vape shop. Yeah, 031 is a collaboration between myself, Mark, and Gerard from Wiener Vape Company. O31, we're from Durban, baby. Yeah, Durban representing. Thank you, Mrs. M. Yeah, that took me a long time to make that. I like my tobacco juices. Rogue took me about 18 months of trial and error until I finally was happy with something that I could release to the public. Any questions, guys? Any vape related questions? Let me just run through the competition again. So we've got a Because Bubbles Matter Cap, which is the home of Fat Fizz. Also there'll be a bottle of 3mg and a bottle of the cherry and a bottle of apple. There's some beard socks, and then there's a shirt from, although it says XXL, I can promise you it's a large, it's a ching chong size, from Wotofo, the cloud artist, up for grabs. What we'll do is when we hit 80 likes, so it might not necessarily be tomorrow, we will then give it away, give the prizes away. But please remember, the live chat doesn't count as comments. Once the video is finished, the video is closed down, you'll be able to comment below the actual video. Unless you've commented below the actual video and liked the video, only the people that are eligible for the competition are the people that have liked the video below. Liked it and have commented in the video, not the live chat, but the comments below. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? My favorite premium juice, it's been decanted into here because I had to take it on the plane, is Ripe Vapes from VCT. It's vanilla caramel tobacco. It's my favorite juice of all time. Cannot get enough of this stuff. La Familia, you know, it's hard to punt all of your juices all of the time. You know, there's only a limited amount of hours in a day. The Duchess sells really well. It competes really well with Trinity. It competes with SNLV. It competes with any fruit juice. You know, yeah, we are looking at hiring somebody down the line to do marketing and stuff like that. It's just, we've got just so much on our plate, guys. It's hard to do everything all the time. Donnie, the compact all-in-one type devices, there's definitely a market for them. You know, it's more the size than anything else. You know, if you take that little device, it's not minute, but it's easily disguisable. Okay, you can have it set up to blow big clouds, or you can have it set up to blow little clouds. You know what I mean? As you said there, I definitely seeing. I'm almost positive that this is the way it's going to go in the not too distant future. Squonking, because you know, besides vaping on a mechanical mod, this is the next closest thing to the purest form of vaping. You know, the bonus of having a reservoir with a good bottom fed Atty, can't go wrong. Hugo's always got a squonker. I've always got a squonker. Rob Fisher, huge amounts of people use the squonkers. Just, it's such a good vape. Daniel, no, I haven't had a chance. It was delivered to Hugo's house. I will play around with one tomorrow. They look absolutely awesome. But you know, I'll bring one on the show the next show, and we can have a look at it. Can have a lot of things for the next show to have a look at. So that will be quite a lengthy one, I think. But what I'm looking at, what I've heard. The design aspect of it, I think it's going to be a winner. I really think that dual battery is going to, because the problem that puts a lot of people off the squonking is the current single battery. You know, this one's a little bit of a mission to change the battery. Hugo's one, which is the inbox, is not that hard to change the battery, but having a dual battery for a squonker is an all-day device. The batteries will last you the entire day, where here it doesn't. Bernard, unless you have tried a squonker, it's hard to explain how nice it is. You know, the biggest problem where people buy tanks is because of the juice capacity. They would love to drip, but it's the capacity. You know, to sit there and drip the whole time is a mission. Okay, especially if you're driving. But with a squonker, having the luxury of the dripper flavor, especially like something on an Icon, and having the reservoir, which some of the reservoirs or the bottles can get like 11, 12 mils of juice. You've got a day's supply of juice. If you're not a heavy vapor, you've got a day's supply of juice and the best flavor out. Donny, local juices up to scratch with international juices? Hell yeah. I've had this discussion before on one of our live feeds. I would love the SA's top 5 juice makers to go up against America's top 5 juice makers or the United Kingdom's top 5 juice makers, and I have to say, as a collaborative thing, if we put us against them, no question, hands down, we'll give America a hiding. America, don't get me wrong, there's some really good American juices out there, but they just use too much sweetener, in my opinion. You just have to look at your coils to see how much sweetener are used in American juices. Look, they taste lovely, and people like the sweet things, but as a flavor profile perspective, South Africa is top notch. South Africa is right up there with everybody else, and I would put money down that the South Africans, if we had to take on the Americans, we would win. There's just no questions asked about it. If you look at where the juice making has come from 2 years ago in South Africa, where it is today, and the juices that are on the shelves today, I would hazard a guess that probably 60% of South African juice makers, are better than 80% of American juice makers, quite easily. I just want to scroll up just and see if I missed it. Thanks, Naeem. Yeah, I'm going to grow it nice and long. My daughter and her friend want to eventually take my beard and make 2, so I can turn out to look like that asterisks and obliques. They want to make 2 plaits down here. So yeah. Pico squeezers. Yeah, Donny, we had Pico squeezers. I think we've actually got maybe 1 or 2 left. Yeah, they just didn't cut it, but to be honest with you, they just didn't cut it. Yeah. Thanks, Dinesh. T-vapes, don't think that working in a vape shop is fun. It's not fun. You just have to ask Etienne or Ethan, who work in our shop, is working in a vape shop fun? I can tell you now, the workload in a vape shop would put most professions to shame. And not only that, dealing with customers, because vapors tend to be, and please don't take me the wrong way, vapors are very anal, and they have addictive personalities, and it's hard work just having to deal with the different personality types, not to mention the demand. People laugh at me and they don't believe me. I get 200 telephone calls, no, maybe not that much, probably 150 telephone calls in a day sometimes. Hugo is off the chart. Hugo's phone doesn't stop ringing, and I get close to 3,000 messages a day. That's just WhatsApp messages. That's excluding Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, whatever. So it's not an easy job. Trust me, it's not an easy job. Mohammed, I do recommend mech mods, but I do recommend that you learn about mech mods and mech safety and battery safety before you attempt to play with a mech mod, because especially your hybrid style mech mods, if you get that wrong, it can be very dangerous. So unfortunately, you need to do a lot of homework before you decide you want to buy one. They are lovely to have once you've owned them, once you've got one. And most people who own mech mods use them the whole time. You just got to be very, very careful. The problem, Hussein, with the Ammit is because it's a shaped deck, it's angled, you can't position it as high as you can off on the Kylin. You want to get it at least 3 to 4 mils above your deck, and because of the angle like that, you can get 3 to 4 mils on this side of the coil, but you can't get it 3 to 4 mils on that side of the coil. Yeah, Ron, Sponker is a mod. That's the mod there. It's a whole mod, but it's got a tank, it's got a juice capacity built into it. session. The squonker I'm using is made by Theron. It's a DNA 75 single battery 18650 squonker. Big Mac flavor. Best entry squonker, if you can find entry level squonker at a not too expensive price. If you can find a Council of Vapor squonker, they're about the R1,000 mark, and that comes with an ATI. It's a good starting point from a squonker, but it's obviously single battery. Naeem, let me get back to you on that, because I actually physically haven't held one in my hands. You know, I'm going to make the assumption it's on a similar size as a VT250, but let me actually physically hold one in my hands before I actually make a comment there, please. Ish, I'm a customer that wants to know everything. Yeah, Mrs. M. There's so much information about vaping, and unfortunately in a vape shop, especially our type of vape shop, I'm not saying that no one else does it, but our type of vape shop, we try to impart knowledge, and we try to get as much knowledge across to the customer base as possible, and it's a lot of work. Space for the BT inbox, spare panels maybe. Yeah, I'll have to check with Hugo. I know he's got an order coming in from them, but I don't know what's in there. I don't even think they make a Pico Mega squonker. I don't think they do. Asterix is the Hobbit. He's at home. It's only the Bully here doing the live feed. We're not in Cape Town. He did come online. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? I did get moaned at that these videos are too long, so I don't want to keep them. I don't want to make them too long. I'd like to get make them maybe a little bit slightly smaller, so it's easier for people to watch. Yeah, so any other questions, guys? Donnie, I think they are, we're just waiting for them to actually be released, and as soon as they are, we will get them. Time for some Coke. Okay, so I'm just going to run through it again. Competition, BBM cap, bottle of Fat Fizz 3 mg of the cherry and the apple, some beard socks, and then a nice shirt from Witofo. But as I said, 80 likes. I've got to get 80 likes before I give it away. So I'll only give it away when I get 80 likes, as well as you have to comment. Those who are eligible for winning have to comment once the video ends in the comment section below the video, not the live feed that you're busy commenting on now. That's not eligible because that doesn't carry into the video. You have to comment below. And if you haven't tried Frosties, you need to try Frosties. If you haven't tried Special Builds and Coil from Coil Company, you have to try them. They are just, I know they're expensive, the coils, but they're definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. Tristan, I think there are some snapbacks. Survapes, I think there are some snapbacks. Hugo did put an order through for some more caps. I did see that the other day. I'm sure that there'll be more coming if they are out of stock. Imran, guys have tried a local sample box, just they've never succeeded at it, unfortunately. Good balls for an Ammit. Are you talking about the Ammit dual, the new one, or the Ammit single, the old one? Thanks, Wilson. Slush puppy flavor. There are some slush puppy type flavors, if I remember correctly. Slushy, there's from Coil Empire, there's a blueberry slushy. What's the best flavor build for a Hadley? Naeem, you're not going to like what I'm going to tell you now because it's expensive, but we have a 4 set of specialized handmade coils from the coil company that, oh man, or any one of the 4 coils, there's 4 different types of coils in there. They actually were made especially for the Hadley. It's the special build that we've got there. They were actually specially made for the Hadley by Rian from Coil Company. So try them out. They're definitely worth it. Yeah, Donnie, it's a little bit hard to do that. You know, you need an outside source. We just don't have time. You need an outside source as like a wholesaler type of, with a wholesale type agreement with the different vape shops or vape or juice manufacturers to actually set it up as vape shop owners. We just don't have the time. Really, we don't have the time. You know, we in the shops at 7 o'clock in the morning. We leave there at 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. I go to the laboratory until, tonight, on Wednesday nights I don't, but most nights I leave the laboratory at 9 o'clock, 9:30, come inside, have some dinner, go to sleep, eat vape, sleep, repeat. That's what we do. You know, it's quite hard. Imran, we do have sample juices which every now and again we throw into the packets free of charge. When we make up a juice, we always put a litre of liquid one side for sample bottles, which we actually give away free of charge. But we only, you know, come in and ask for some in the shop, or when you order, specifically ask. We only put them in when we have them in stock. And we just throw them into the bags free of charge. It's a 10 ml bottle. They are 0 milligram nicotine, unfortunately, but yeah, you can always try it that way. Also, in our shop, we've always got juices for tasting. You are more than welcome to come in and taste juices. You know, we don't have all the international juices open, but local juices, we've got one of everything on our shelves open for tasting. Kim, I won't lie to you, we are looking. When it happens, I don't know. We're in the process of opening a new shop here in Durban. Can't allude to any more than that. All I can tell you, it's going to be of epic proportions. And we get so many requests to open in Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, Joburg. And I know everybody wants us in those places, but the problem is that you can't duplicate myself and Hugo. Myself and Hugo are what makes Survape. And if we are not in those shops, we just concerned that people won't have the same experiences when they come into Survape shop in Durban. So maybe, but I can't say when. Darn, it's not as easy as that. You know, we bottle by machine, and we do thousands upon thousands upon thousands of bottles of juice a month, and you know, that takes a lot of time. 10 more bottles take a hell of a long time to do. It's a timing issue, that's it. Peter, best build for the old Ammit is a straightforward, if you've got flat wire, that's lacquer. If you've got flat wire, 3.5mm 7 wrap, flat wire, haywire, and that little thing baby rocks, but just make sure that you've got at least 3 to 4 mils above your airflow and away from the side airflow as well. Donnie, no, we don't do franchises. We will never do franchises for the same reason. Our name means more to us than making money. We have got a reputation to uphold, and we can't, on a franchise type scenario, we can't control what happens in that shop. But yeah, once we've, yeah. You know, you can franchise the vision, but you still have to have the right people in the shop. It's, yeah, when you see what our new shop is going to look like, it's yeah, I'm getting goosebumps already thinking about it. It's going to be of epic proportions. Nothing like it in South Africa, nothing like it in the southern hemisphere. Yeah. Cheers, Tristan. Donnie, no, I don't think the DIY scene is killing the juice industry. What is killing the juice industry is the DIY guys trying to compete with the what do you want to call it, the established juice makers. You know, the problem arises is that you've got old Tani Sissy making juices on the kitchen shelf and undercutting because they don't have the overheads. They single flavored, dual flavored juices. And please don't get me wrong, I'm still thinking there's a DIY out there that's got the next best juice in the world, somewhere sitting in South Africa or in another country that's DIY, who doesn't have the infrastructure or money to get his juice mass produced. The problem arises is when you've got these fly-by-nighters that are selling clone juices and that are selling juices without any necessary paperwork to go with it. That's what's ruining the industry. Not the guy who's actually DIYing. The guy who's DIYing for himself and maybe his direct family or indirect for his friends, it's not a problem. It's the guy who's DIYing who thinks he's the master of DIY and tries to compete with the mass or the big guys. You know what I mean? That's the guy that's going to ruin the industry. Because all you need is one guy to get sick. And it's happened already. It's going to happen again. You're going to get the guys are going to get sick. It's going to be about the money and the money only, and they're going to be putting crap and shit and stuff in there, not good quality stuff, and people are going to get sick. Or people have already got sick in South Africa with DIY juice and clone juices and stuff like that. People are trying to get onto the gravy train, and the unfortunate problem is the gravy train's come and gone. Please don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to put us on a platform or any other vape shop owner on a platform. Unless you were in the game 2 years ago, you've missed the boat. It's so hard to cut into the market today unless you have got the next best thing, and unfortunately everybody thinks they've got the next best thing. DIYing for friends and family, not a problem. Just save a buck. But don't try and put it into the market unless you legitimately have got the best and the next freaking best juice in the world. Yeah, it's hard to get into it now. Frosties are $250. Yeah, Imram, centrally located. How's it, Trishan? Donnie, I'm the biggest bouncer you'll see. I am one large person. Most people cut themselves when they come in the shop, and then they get intimidated by my size. Cool, Kim. I think I'm pronouncing this right. Sumshin, best build for the Kylin is my normal build, but 3.5mm, 7, 8 or 9 wraps, 24 gauge nichrome wire, nichrome 80, and that thing hops. You can put aliens in, you can put demon killer alien wire in there. Any coil pretty much works in there. The flavor on a single coil is slightly muted to the dual coil. So any dual coil it will work in there, but you must be 3.5mm ID or Y or bigger. Yeah, Donnie, the shake and vape scene I think hasn't really taken off in South Africa, but I'm sure it will come. Yeah, I'm also 7th Dan black belt, so yeah, which not a lot of people do know about me. And I was a bouncer for 10 years in some of the roughest places you've ever seen. So although I'm quite quiet and kind of quiet spoken, I can get my act on if I want to. Dression, I have not tried it, but I will try it. I just don't think it's going to work. I don't think that the top cap is going to work on it because of the 3mm glass versus the 2mm glass. I don't think it's going to work. Naeem, I was a financial advisor, independent financial advisor for 26 years. And Hugo owns, or still currently owns, a printing business. Funakoshi, ooh, what happened there? Oh, my screen went into quiet mode. No, I was at Funakoshi Roo, full contact. We are closing at 7 o'clock on Friday. Guys, any questions vape related? Otherwise I'm going to call it quits so that you guys don't stay up too late, so you can go hit a like and you can go comment below on the video. I'm going to take give you another 5 minutes and then I'm going to be out of here. I've got a hectic day tomorrow as well. Session with the Kylin, my airflow is always wide open. I like lots of air, but you've got to find your happy place. I can't tell you what your happy place is. Dression, I do have a Noisy Cricket V2. I don't have it with me. I've yet to have a problem with the fire button, not like the version 1, which was a touch and go button. Never had a problem with my V2 at all. It's buttons perfect. Pleasure, Mrs. M. We have owning a vape shop is not for sissies. I can tell you that right now. Our newest employee, Ethan. Every day he gets shat on purely because it's that tough. Oh, any other vape questions? Cheers, Peter. Okay, seeing as I've got no more vape questions, please guys, don't forget, prize will only happen when I get 80 likes on the video. Please, and I'd like you to please spread the word. Okay, it's not about It's not about us at the end of the day, it's about you as the customer. Okay, spread the word about us doing these live feeds, because the more followers we get, we have had categorically been told by our suppliers that if we can get our numbers up, they will give us items, pre-launched items, which we can then pass on to winners, and we will give everything away. If I get a DNA mod that's sponsored by one of the suppliers, I will give it away online. It's not about us, it's about you at the end of the day, giving you information to be able to make the right purchase. We're trying to educate you about vaping and help you out wherever you need. But unless I get the numbers, I'm not going to be able to get the nice prizes. We're giving away stuff, the odds and ends, shirts, caps. I want to be giving DNA mods away. I want to be giving 2-3 tanks away a night. So the only way I can do that is please spread the word. Spread the word on social media. Get the guys following us on social media, because the more my numbers can get up on these live feeds, the better prizes I can give out to you guys. And it might be a situation where 2 or 3 people can win, not just one person. So remember, like the video, comment once the video is ended, because the live feed doesn't count, the live video or the live chat doesn't count. Spread the word on social media, please guys. It's the only way we're going to be able to get bigger and better prizes for you. And it's not about us at the end of the day, it's about you being able to give back to you. So good night, hope you enjoyed it. If you're still having problems with the Kylin, hook me up with a telephone call tomorrow and we can try and make a plan. Otherwise, good night guys, thanks for watching. Be with you next week or earlier if I get something new in, but I'll let you know. Good night guys.